Hey.
And we are doing kind of a follow-up video for our Pokemon discussion that we had last week. The game came out. I've been playing it. Parker, do you have anything you want to admit?
I got the game. I got
Parker got
Pokemon
the
Shield.
game. Pokemon Pokemon Shield. He got Pokemon Shield. I got Pokemon Sword. So we both have. I've finished the game. Parker's playing at his own pace, but
Yes.
he's pretty deep in the game. So we thought we would do like a follow-up discussion, talk about our prior expectations and if they have been met or if our viewpoints have kind of shifted in any way. So I guess I'll start with you, Parker.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Pokemon?
I have a lot of feelings about this Pokemon game. It it's fun. I'm really like I think it's a fun game to play.
Hmm.
I think it's a fun Pokemon game to. I think it's a. I don't think it's gonna be like game of the year or anything like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Far from it. But I think it's a fun Pokemon game. I think it feels kind of like a like when you're like toddlers are little and they're like they want to put on like dad shoes and walk around in them and whatever. That's kind of what this feels like. It feels like a 3DS game that is on the Switch trying to act like a Switch game. But I mean, like overall, I would say that my thoughts are positive. I'm enjoying the game, but man, I see almost every flaw
Hmm.
that's been put before me. And I want to say something. I don't think the internet was totally right about everything. I think the internet caught hold of some things that were really bad, and I am guilty of this. I mean, you guys, if you listen to the Pokemon podcast, you know, I was in that camp that just hated this game before it even came out.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not saying it's my favorite Pokemon game ever. I am gonna say it's
Hmm.
more fun than I thought it would be. And like, not everything that I heard going into this was true. I've learned a lot from this Pokemon game. I really like it. This game has taught me a lesson just to like make your own opinion about something
For
because
sure.
yeah, like the game came out, you were like, "Hey man, this is a fun game." I watched you stream it. I had a bunch of friends texting me like, "Hey man, great Pokemon game." I was like, "But the internet."
Yeah, internet mob mentality is like no joke. Like once it
Yeah,
gets going, it's pretty much unstoppable.
yeah.
Um,
What
as
about you,
far as
man?
me, I,
Yeah.
I kind of share the same viewpoints as you. Um, for a Pokemon game, it's very fun. It's exactly what I would expect for a Pokemon game. There's nothing really outstanding about it, I would say. There's a few additions that I do really enjoy within the game, and I hope that Game Freak kind of takes the community feedback that they're getting because it seems like a lot of people kind of enjoy. I'm referencing the wild area. It seems like
Yes.
a lot of people have like complimented that aspect of the game, so I hope Game Freak kind of takes that further. I feel like it's almost like a solid stepping stone into what Pokemon can be. It's not exactly where I see it at its fullest potential quite yet, but I would say that this is like as far as starting off on the Switch, I feel like this is a good first Switch entry. And if they continue down this direction, I really look forward to seeing what they come up with for the next gen.
Yeah, like this whole thing, uh, like the whole game just feels like a first try, but it doesn't feel like I don't feel like it. I don't think it feels like they tried particularly hard. Like I don't think this is Game Freak going all out, right?
Hmm.
And that was like the impression that I had going into this is that it would be Game Freak going all out because that's what every other like mainline Switch title has been,
Hmm.
is Nintendo going all out. So I was expecting that. I don't know. It's like nothing like you said nothing is surprising about this game because it's just a Pokemon game. There is literally nothing surprising about it. Like it's just the most like milk toast Pokemon experience, but it's fun to explore the new region. I like just because it's fun and just because it's Pokemon doesn't mean that like we don't see the flaws in it though. Like
Oh, for sure.
I think that's a very important thing to continue pointing out throughout this podcast because we'll say some positive things, but I have a lot of like I don't say I have a lot of criticisms of the game, but mostly like
Hmm.
I hope that if anybody from Game Freak happens to listen to this for whatever reason, I hope they see them as like constructive criticism and like
For
notes,
sure.
because like you're saying this is a cool first place.
Yeah.
I I just hope the next one is so much different than this game.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as constructive criticism, I kind of wish that everyone kind of took that approach. That's how I'm gonna be taking this approach whenever I do the review. Look forward to that this week or early next week. But I think that it's probably a good idea. Let's just start off with the negatives that we see, and then we'll move on to the positive aspects. We'll end on a happy note.
Yeah.
But there's definitely flaws within this game, and I don't want to gloss over it and just say, it's a Pokemon game. What do you expect? That's kind of like the same thing like when Skyrim came out. It's a Bethesda game, and then we got Fallout 76. So let's address the elephants in the room before we get there. So Parker, I'm gonna pass it back to you. What have you seen within the game that kind of isn't hitting that nice spot for you?
It's so easy. This game is incredibly easy. If you've played a Pokemon game before, it's easy. I'm almost to the second gym, and granted, like the way that I play the game is different than like Pokemon can be played any way, right? Mm-hmm. That's what makes it so unique, and that's why people are so passionate about it, is because their experiences are their own, and whatever, who cares? This is the easiest Pokemon game I think I've ever played. Like, everything from X and Y onward has felt like a face roll, kind of. But this game, I was over leveled for the first gym by like 5 levels, and I thought I was following the intended path of the game, right? Mm-hmm. Come to find out, it sounds like I'm taking more time than I need to be in these areas. Like, when I first got to the wild area, I explored every single part of it and caught every single Pokemon that I could. And that over leveled me like crazy. I don't know. I mean, like, it's just easy. I find it fun to be like this mysterious, like, nobody trainer that's like super powerful. That's really cool. It's like, you feel like Ash Ketchum, it's like winning every battle. Well, Ash didn't win it anyway. This is not an anime podcast, but I don't know. It just feels cool to be the guy. But I had one Pokemon faint, and that's because I was just goofing and I was having a conversation and mashing the A button. I haven't lost a battle yet. I don't anticipate losing a battle yet. It's easy. That's my very first criticism. Is I wish that we had, and I'll make it constructive by saying here's how I would change it. Sorry to talk so long, but I feel like
you're fine.
And I talked about this yesterday. We talked about this a little bit when I was streaming. Like, the Pokemon needs difficulty settings now. I think that Game Freak has made this game easy to make it accessible to just anybody. And I think that it's commonly misconstrued as they're trying to make it easier for kids, but everybody that's playing Pokemon now that's like our age, like, we grew up playing tough Pokemon games, like Pokemon Platinum, that was a hard game, right? Like, the games used to be tough, and now they're just not. I think they're trying to cater to more people. I think that when you do that, lots of games do that. Doom 2016 did that, They tried to cater to a lot of people, and they had multiple difficulty settings. Just give us, like, story mode, which is easy, which is what the game is now, normal mode, and then, like, hard mode, where... and in, like, hard mode, things would scale to your level, right? So, like, if you went to the first gym with a level 25 Pokemon, the gym leader would have same level Pokemon as you, They would scale it to either your toughest or your weakest Pokemon, and we'd go from there. I think that's what the game should be. That's my constructive criticism of my first negative point. Sorry. Yeah. What about you, man? What do you see?
Well, I'm kind of branching off that point. I do see, like, where you're coming from. I think it was the first gym leader. It's Milo, the grass type guy.
Grass type.
He walks out, right? Like, he walks out to the stadium, and he has 6 Pokeballs on his belt.
Yeah.
And he uses, like, 2 of them.
Yeah, it was easy. It was easy. I Dynamaxed my Eevee, right? Very first turn, I was like, this will be easy. 2, like, 1 move, dead. Second move, dead. That was my gym experience.
Yeah. So. So they didn't, I feel like they didn't take into account the multiple ways that you can play this game because of how they introduced kind of the newer aspects of such as the wild area. You can literally just grind in the wild area, and your starter Pokemon will be 3rd evolution before you even hit the first gym.
Yeah.
Because you can just get, like, XP candies from raids and just catching Pokemon or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can easily overlevel yourself. I will say that I played a little bit different than Parker did. Parker's like 9 hours in on the second gym.
Yeah.
I rushed to every story beat I could. I think when they first introduced me to the wild area, I was like, oh, this is cool. But I heard on Reddit that I can't catch the high level Pokemon, so I'm just gonna keep going. So I just rushed through the game. I think I lost, I want to say, 4 battles throughout my whole experience, and that's just because I was rushing and
Right.
I didn't optimize any teams. Like I went into the rock gym without a water Pokemon. So that's kind of where I was at.
Right. You're just trying to get there.
Or the fire gym, not the rock gym.
Okay.
I went to the fire gym without the water Pokemon.
I remember that. I saw that
Yeah.
on your stream.
Yeah, so and I had the grass starter, so there was that. That was my strongest Pokemon.
Man.
But yeah, I definitely could see that. I think if they kind of introduce these avenues to where you can kind of play Pokemon however you want to play it, they should also introduce some options to kind of keep the game balanced to account for that. So I 100% agree with you. The number one thing that I really did not like about this game, and it's like the amount of times they take away the player control
Oh my god.
within the first 2 hours of the game. I feel like my first 2 hours of playing the game, I played for maybe 30 minutes because literally every corner I turned around, there was a story beat,
Yeah.
and they had to show me an in-game cutscene, and I'm like,
God.
I just want to play Pokemon. Like, I don't play Pokemon for the story. I don't know if there's anyone out there that does. You're a crazy person if you do.
Yeah.
No offense.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like the stories are always phenomenally weak.
They're just surface level stories.
Yeah.
Hop is very annoying.
Oh my god.
Every time he like came up, I was like, and then he wants to battle you like literally every 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, original Pokemon, you battle your rival once and you went through like 2 or 3 gyms before you battled again.
Yeah.
Hop, you like battled him like 5 times before the first gym. I'm like, dude, I beat you. You're not gonna win.
Dude, I groaned last time. Like I was playing right before we like I just battled Hop. Honestly, I battled Hop right before we started recording this, right? And I groaned out loud when I saw him. Like I was moving along the screen, right? I was like, dude, oh my god! Like as soon as he came on,
then he pops up.
I stopped. Like it was just like it's just boring. Like there's so like you have to. It shouldn't be a slog. Like all the games have been so good. Except, well, Sun and Moon was famous for having its super slow opening, right? That's why they made Ultra and they like trimmed it down. Like if this game just if they did that for like the first 20 minutes when you're in like your first town, the first 2 towns that are like right next to each other, you know, like that'd be fine. But it's not. It's just constant. It's like your little cousin being like, "Hey, come over here. Come see this thing that I think is super cool." But it's like
That little kid that comes up to you, he's like, you have games on your phone?
yeah, that's Hop, and like you just hear about Hop and his brother Leon and Leon's Charizard, and isn't this so cool? And like, I was
Yeah. And I like also kind of leeching off you, a way to kind of make that constructive is if you're gonna have me battle like my rival for like a million times before I even start playing the game, like make him switch up his team.
oh my god,
Like
yeah.
that was kind of the most boring part of it, was he literally brought the same team with him, and then he added like one Pokemon every now and then. But like him starting off with Wooloo every freaking time I fought him,
yeah.
annoying. It's like, dude, okay, I beat you. You were using this strategy last time.
Yeah.
Use a different strategy.
Yeah,
But he
it's
just comes at you with the same stuff. I'm like,
I like another thing is like can we get NPCs that use more than 3 Pokemon? Like why is it that like I get it, like gym battles in the anime, right? Like they choose like 3 Pokemon and that's what they use, right? So
Yeah.
like I feel like gym leaders have 3 Pokemon because of that, but why
that's
let
how
me
Battle
have
Tower is too. It's really weird.
really? That's
Yeah.
that's so strange to me. I'm not there yet, but like
I think that's how competitive works.
Well, comp is
like you bring
different.
in 6 and then you like
You
pick
choose
3.
4. Well, it depends
Oh, okay.
on. I played doubles, which is like
okay.
comp standard, and you choose 4 out of your 6. So you get to see your opponent's team, and you see your team, and you choose the 4 that you think will work best against. It's
Yeah,
comp.
that's how doubles work in Battle Tower as well.
Oh, okay. Oh, Okay, post game sounds kind of lit. But like the battling is still fun. Like that whole list came out of like moves that got deleted and stuff. And like I miss like hidden power and things like that. But the moves are fine. It's standard Pokemon outside of the obnoxious rival. Like I don't know. I wish the game like played as if it knew you were playing also. Like it just doesn't seem self-aware. Like that's part of the easy mode is that like since I'm running around with 6 over-leveled Pokemon, I feel like the game should know that and it should try to like stop me from doing that. Like I feel like older games had like Big Bads had 6 Pokemon and you'd have to fight those 6 Pokemon and that was a long battle. And like I remember Lance in the Elite Four was tough and like I don't know, it's like the one NPC with 6 Pokemon in the game shouldn't be the champion. It should be everybody else because everybody should be playing by the same rules. And it feels like I'm the special case, and they let me do whatever I want, and that has just become very boring.
Yeah, I didn't like getting healed around every corner as well. Like after every battle, they just heal your Pokemon for you. Like, I mean, it's kind of nice because that way you don't have to go to like the Pokemon Center every 5 minutes. But I didn't like how it was like on every corner of the game. There's like a healer.
It's like, I mean, like then what the hell are these potions that I have in my bag for? Like
I don't think I use the potion.
I use them all the time, but it's like I try to have like 50 of each potion in my bag, but it's like there's no point, especially with the camp too. Like, I
just make some curry.
Yeah. Also, like I'm using Pokemon Camp a lot because I have an Eevee that I'm trying to make into a Sylveon, so I'm trying to play with it a lot.
Okay.
Pokemon Camp is weird. Like the camp
it's just
is
Pokemon MA.
Yeah, but like
3DS.
I even liked the Pokepelago in Alola more than this. Like it just this doesn't like we're like in Alola you're picking up beans off the ground. Like in this one you're making curry out of berries that you get from trees. The
curry's just Pokemon Blender from one of the GBA games. I forget which one.
Yeah,
that's what it reminded me of.
It's just like there's no real indication as to like how to make things. It's just kind of like you throw a bunch of stuff in there and then it's like you did good on this one or you didn't do good. It makes no sense. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how many things I'm gonna have to feed to this Eevee to make it love me, but like I hope I don't have to stay in Pokemon Camp much longer.
You do get friendship built rather quickly within the game. I mean, it's gonna be a while for you, but
yeah, I'll probably get to it like next week. Oh my god.
But I think aside from the rival and kind of just them not taking into account the different ways people play Pokemon, the story is also like really bare bones, but that's kind of expected. Okay, so here's the thing about the story, and this can be like kind of my last negative comment I have on it because I'll save some for the review. Is the story like so? Parker hasn't beat the game, so I'm like trying to word this so it doesn't like spoil it. You beat the champion as you do in every Pokemon game, and then there's the section after you beat the champion where like you're supposed to feel some sort of payoff with Hop, but you don't because you just hate Hop as a character. It's like it's so like obvious that when they made that section, like they're like, oh yeah, the player's gonna feel like really great about what Hop's doing and feel great about his interaction with Hop, and it's like, dude, Hop could go jump off a bridge for all I care, and I wouldn't like just get this character out of my game.
Yeah, it make like he's just the worst, man. He's just the worst. Like I thought that the fairy from Ocarina of Time was gonna go down in history as like most obnoxious video game character. Fuck Hop. Like Hop makes me like just tired every time I see him. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's hilarious that he's at the end. I feel bad that you can't talk about like everything that happens in the story, but like that vague assessment is just that's hilarious to me.
Yeah. But that's all I have for the negatives. What about you? Do you have anything else?
The game's ugly. The game in some parts. In some places the game is gorgeous. Like the models look great in the HD as they would because they're just they're just exported at a higher resolution. Like they're the same models. It doesn't matter. That was I don't. All these people complaining about like, oh my god, it's the same wire mesh. Like who cares? Like the program they're using to make them is HD. So as soon
there was
as they
like minor changes made in the wire meshes, but like very minor.
Like as soon as you, like it's a whole thing. But like it just like the models look nice because that's how they're made. They didn't look great on the 3DS because the 3DS had lower resolution. You're a fool if you think that matters at all. The models are fine. Some of the backgrounds are real pretty. The towns are pretty. They're very simply laid out, but that's another thing. Like I'm finding all like the TMs and the secrets and stuff like way too easily. It's like I don't feel like I have to work for any of it. But I'm also like just now to the second gym, so I don't know. How it goes
you're like definitely like scouring every corner. I find myself going back to towns and like finding stuff that I didn't find with my first run through.
Okay, gotcha. I'm one of those Pokemon guys. But for the most part, man, like the textures like are just so washed out. Like the wild area is the coolest part of Pokemon. It's definitely the coolest thing they've added in like the last 2 3DS games, right? Like the last 2 mainline things. But it is just so butt ugly. Like it is just gross. The trees are those N64 looking trees that are terrible. Wii Sports had better looking trees than that. It's actually hilarious when you get like a background tree next to a berry tree.
That thing blew my mind.
I know. It's so like the berry tree is so pretty.
Why didn't they just use the berry tree without berries as the regular? It's like
the fuck happened there, Game Freak? Like, and the textures on the ground are so washed out. If you see like textures on a hillside, it's just like pixelated brown and green all down. It's just like and it has this weird like haze to it, like this weird washed out gray film over the whole thing. It's strange. But there are some segments that look really pretty, and the battles are engaging because their camera sucks when you're not in a battle, but this battle camera is pretty cool. You're closer up on the Pokemon, so the battles are more intense. But just for the most part, that's my last negative thing. Is like it just doesn't look good.
Yeah, and I guess with that, I'll segue into kind of. So I'm gonna talk about some of the things that the internet kind of gave us, and then what we actually got.
Yeah, good idea.
So, from what we saw, and it kind of like ties into what you just said as far as the battle backgrounds and stuff. What we saw was like the guy took a screenshot of him battling in a gym, and the gym battle backgrounds are ugly because it's literally nothing.
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, this is how all the battles look." I'm like, wait, that looks like complete garbage. But I was happy to find out, like, when you're out in the wild, like battling trainers, whatever, you actually like get scenery in the background.
Yeah. I did have this one moment where like I was in the middle of a city and I was battling a Pokemon, and then like the background for my battle was like me in the forest, and it was like what happened here? But like, yeah,
I actually saw something like that. Like someone was fishing on a dock.
Yeah.
And they, like,
then you're battling in the forest. So that happened, and that will rip me out of it, right? Like there's some things in this game that like I'm playing and I'm like, I'm in the rhythm, I'm in the Pokemon thing, like I'm grinding, I love my team, I feel connected to my Pokemon, and then that shit happens and it's like yoink, oh god, what am I looking at? Like it's weird. The game does have like, it's like a hypnotic game, but like where it'll just lull me into this like weird sense of childlike security, you know, while I'm playing it. And then I'll get ripped out because of dumb shit like that. But those rooms that were posted do exist. Like most of your gym battling is going to be in rooms like that, except for the final.
Yeah, that's like with all that's the like mini trainers until you get to the gym leader. But there's like only 3 of them per gym. Yeah, so it's not a lot,
and it like it almost so it like works kind of like it. Because like the first gym's the only one I've actually fought in, but it's like you're doing the puzzle, so it's like you know, it just has to be like a gym sort of like environment, because you go into like a separate area from the place you battle the leader, so it's kind of like you're in the fun mini game area, and then you know, like, I wish that everything took place in that massive area, like the cool stadium. Yeah, that shit's cool. You know,
I understand why they didn't do that. Like they reserved that that hype for the gym leaders. But yeah, that would have been cool.
The gyms feel special.
Yeah. I will say, so this is kind of like an opinion I have that you might not agree with just because of what you do as a person. But all the arguments about the animations are really piss poor and but ugly. I found that to be true for like the really basic moves that no one will ever use past the first half of the game. But like the latter half, so I don't know how much of the animations you've seen because obviously you're still at the second gym, but for like the moves that you would actually use in a competitive sense, like those animations are super clean. I've seen some battle animations that are super sick as far as attacks go, but I don't know how you would feel about it.
So I've been waiting for us to get to animations.
Okay.
Because when we saw like months ago, like Yamper doing tail wag or tail whip or whatever, and it's just like Yamper being rotated like on the Z axis, it's like that's what I thought the whole game was gonna be. There is a lot of that where I'm at, but that's because like every Pokemon's got to use tail whip at level 8, you know.
Yeah.
I have, for the most part, been very surprised by a lot of the animations that I've seen. I don't think they're like revolutionary Pokemon animations, but some of the moves like look really cool and have new, like some of the moves have been the same thing since X and Y, you know. So we had X and Y, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Sun and Moon, and then Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon to have all the moves look the same. But now they're finally, there's something different, so there's something more fun to look at. So consider me like check mark in the box of this surprised me for the animations.
Yeah, and that's just something like the internet told us, like this is the whole game, all the attack animations are ugly, which I was pleasantly surprised to find out that's not the case.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will say that there is like some animations, especially like in story cutscenes, like where it should be supremely polished, where it's not, and it just takes you out of it.
Yeah.
I'll let you get to that. Like once you get to that moment in the game, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You'll like message you like, dude, what the fuck?
I saw one from like later in the game, and I like on Reddit, and I was like, no, dude.
What was it?
I see. I don't want to spoil it for people that are listening that haven't finished the game, but
Spoiler
alert. Spoils. I'll make a thumbs up when you can come
I'm
back.
gonna tap my head when we're done with spoils.
The legendary thing.
Where he just rotates.
Where he just rotates on the Z-axis, and then like his walk cycle continues, and he just
that's the part. That's the part.
Like it's so dumb, and like I'm so tired. And you're back. I'm so tired of Pokemon characters like like if I'm here, right, the Pokemon character will like walk this way, facing away from me, and then just rotate. You know, like I'm so tired of that shit. Like they do need to. I think it shows a lot of like lack of expertise in the area of 3D, both modeling and animation. Like this game will, like you're finally on display. Like there's nowhere to hide for Game Freak when now that it's on the Switch and everybody is playing it. Like Let's Go looked good, but it still had the same fundamental animation problems. I think that the next one they're gonna have to step that up. Like it can't just be like either make a 2D game or make a 3D game.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at with all of this.
Yeah. As far as positives go for me, obviously the wild area, that's probably like the tippity top of my positives is what they did with that area, and I can't stress this enough. Like, yes, Parker's right, it's pretty ugly when you're in there. But the fact that they gave you like free camera controls, you can zoom out the camera, you see all the Pokemon like walking around and stuff, like that is so cool. And I hope that they like I want that to be all the routes in the game.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier today.
Yeah, to just be the wild area. Like that's just how the Pokemon game just needs to be. Like I don't want to walk down like a linear corridor anymore. I just want to go to the wild area. Oh, the town's connected through the west side or something, and then you just go over there.
Yeah, like I'm finding myself like on the way to the second gym, like, okay, that first area was cool. I know I can't go back because there's level 30s in like the last area that I was like, okay, when do I get to the next wild area? Like the routes are so boring. Like
yeah, for sure.
It's all like, you know, it's like Final Fantasy 13. Like it just tunnels you through it. It like you can go either like the straight way, or you can like do the little turn and then come back, and then he's yeah. So the
you
wild
can avoid the trainer by going through the grass, or you can find the trainer. Those are your options.
it's so dumb. And I was worried that the wild area would be a lot of like this massive expanse, and there'd be like 5 different Pokemon in it. That's just not the case. Like there are a bunch. Like I caught 50 Pokemon before the first gym, and I missed some. Right, like there's a buttload, and like there's a bunch that I couldn't catch because of level stuff. That's one of the things the internet also talked about. Like, oh, I can't catch this Pokemon because I'm low level. That
you're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to. Like I walked up to a level, like it was like a level 32 Onyx when I hadn't even evolved my starter yet, and I was like, there's no way I would have caught this anyway. Like this never in like I had a level 8 Scorbunny versus a level 32 Onyx. No stretch of the imagination would ever like allow that catch to
lucky
happen.
Pokeball on it.
Yeah, like it's not like that would never happen. So like all that stuff, it's more organic than it sounds when it's written down. But yeah, wild area is dope, man. It's so good.
I hope that they do keep that kind of like I never had a problem with needing gym badges to catch the higher level Pokemon. As well, like people had a problem with it because they thought it was going to be like, what if I run into a shiny and I can't catch it? They're shiny locked. They can't be shinies if you can't catch it.
So I did see a post on Reddit that somebody ran into like the turtle. Like,
really?
Yeah. So it happened, and they are supposed to be shiny locked. We've been told they're shiny locked. Apparently, it's not.
Well, never mind.
So well, I didn't mean to like shut you down. I just saw
you're fine.
Yesterday, and I was like, wait. So hopefully we get a patch on that, because I felt horrible for that person. Like, oh my god,
that sucks. That's not supposed to be the case. Hopefully they do get that fixed, but I do hope that they don't take the criticism that they got to heart. I hope that that's in future iterations of the game, because I thought it was really cool to be able to run into like level 50 Pokemon like when you're first starting out, and you're like, that's what I have to look forward to.
Yeah.
But I'm not there yet.
Yeah. It does. I feel like it encourages a little bit of backtracking too, which is fun. I feel like I'm getting to know the map really well. This map flows really, really well compared to other Pokemon games. Like I feel like X and Y was one big circle. Like a Pokemon game works when it's one big circle, right? And that's what a lot of their maps are, is because you're supposed to come back to Pallet Town at the end of the first game, But like this game, Pacha just right .jpg. Like this game has flow to it, and I think that's the thing that's really, really speaking to me about it.
Yeah, I think it has to do with the wild area as well, because the wild area is literally connected throughout the whole map. It's just one big area throughout the whole map, and then the towns are like kind of off to the side in a line almost.
Yeah. It feels like the anime almost, man. Like it feels like I'm in this space and like there's just Pokemon alive all around me, and it's cool. Like it's just cool. I mean, when they had the Pokemon above ground in Let's Go, I was like, oh, this would be cool. I doubt we'll see this in the next game, but like this is cool. It works so well in the mainline RPG. It is insane.
Sure. It makes the world feel lived in almost, that it's all there. And kind of going off that point as well with the Pokemon above ground, I think that they did a really good job with balancing kind of the random encounters as well as the Let's Go approach with the Pokemon above ground. For those of you that don't know, if you run through the tall grass, exclamation point will pop up to where a random encounter will be, and you can choose whether to go for it or not. There are some Pokemon exclusive to the random encounters, so like if you're going to complete the Pokedex, eventually you're going to have to go through it. But I thought that it was kind of, because everyone loved the above ground Pokemon, not only because it looked cool, but also because you could avoid them if you wanted to.
Yes.
So it's nice having that option as well to like not run into a million Zubats in a cave.
yeah, it's so nice, man. The game's just it's just good. Like they just as much as I didn't want to believe it, the game is good. The game is fun. The game is an enjoyable playthrough. I'm like literally itching for this recording to be over so that I can go back and play some like Pokemon, Like I have Jedi Fallen Order that I got to get through for a review, and I want to play Pokemon instead. Like you have the more fun job this week, Like
it's a distraction for sure.
It's really good. I I don't know. I can't wait for competitive because I competitive is one of my like I don't have anything else like positive about the game. Like we've talked like the wild area is the only thing I wanted to like talk about really because it is the one new change. The raids are fun. Also, should we talk about that? Like they're
it's
fun.
part of the wild area, but
yeah, that's true. That's true. But like they're fun.
It does add like another layer. The other thing about the wild area I just want to talk to you about briefly before we get to that is there's a weather system within the game. So some places get like icy, and then you'll find the snow Pokemon in those regions, and then eventually it'll start raining. You'll find more water Pokemon. So I thought that was cool how they like kind of cycled that out. I don't know if they're like cycling out the Pokemon you can encounter. Because like every time I go to the like every day I go to the wild area, I start seeing new Pokemon that I didn't see before.
Huh.
So I don't know if that's a thing. Don't quote me on that, but I'm still seeing Pokemon that I haven't seen in the wild area. So
okay, I'll be curious to see how our experiences differ there. Mm-hmm. Because I'd like
you went through it.
Yeah, like I combed it. Like we like my girlfriend and I watched a whole movie. And I wasn't even halfway done with the first encounter with the wild area. So like I was like we watched, for reference, we watched Princess and the Frog, which is like an hour 45. You know, so I was stuck like in So yeah, I don't like the weather system. It's funny you bring it up. Like I get that different Pokemon exist in different weather, and that makes sense because they're all different types. But it's like I'll be like hanging out, it'll be rainy, and then I'll walk like 1 pixel to the right, and it won't be raining anymore.
Yeah, I don't like. That's not the part that I like. Is how like drastic it changes from one environment to the next.
Yeah.
I just like that it's there. They could definitely smooth it out. I like that it affects the battle. So if it's snowing and you go into a battle with a wild Pokemon, it'll be hailing like at the start of the battle.
That's sick.
Same with like thunder and stuff like that. So I thought that was all really cool. But raids, and this kind of brings us to the last dreaded topic of this Pokemon discussion, which is the online component. And we all know Nintendo can't do online.
I was about to say, I'm going to save us a lot of time and just say, typical Nintendo multiplayer. It's trash.
It's buggy. It works.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Most of the time, it's just frustrating to use. Like, for instance, I was playing with my friend. We were doing raids. He would start a raid, and I would, like, join up on him. It gets the job done, but it could have been better. The whatever online system they had where it like showed your friends list at the bottom screen on the 3DS.
Yeah.
That was way better than what they have now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stamp system, so in this game, for those of you that haven't played it, when you catch Pokemon or when you are doing a raid or something like that, a stamp, a little emote will pop up with the Pokemon you caught or something in the bottom left, right? Your friends, like if you're creating a raid group, that will show up. My biggest and your friend can then go to their online menu and and sift through everybody else in the world that's caught a Pokemon or decided to start a raid battle and try to find you. I just it's just so sloppy, man. It's so sloppy.
They did add filters for stuff like that. I'll give them credit for that, but
I wish I could interact with them.
I do think it's cool, like, you can see, like, so if your friend's online and he catches a Pokemon, you can see, like, what Pokemon he caught or the Pokemon he evolved. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I don't think it needed to be, like, they didn't need to change the whole system that they had previous to do this.
Yeah.
This is definitely a worse system than what they had.
I agree.
So
absolutely agree, 100%.
I just pray that Nintendo can figure out online at some point, because all their online games are just infuriating, and Pokemon is the one game where online is like pretty much, I want to say 70% of the game.
Yeah, it's a humongous part of the post of like, it's the reason that I play the games is to compete. So yeah. But
other than that, overall, I'm having a good feeling about Pokemon. It's pretty much what I was expecting. It's a Pokemon game. It's fun. Look forward to that review later this week. Parker, do you have any last thoughts?
No, it's not what I was expecting because I'm having fun with it. So it's good. It's worth, if you were on the fence, the internet didn't tell you the whole truth, and the game is definitely like it's a shell of what it could be given another year to bake in the Game Freak ovens, but that shell is so much fun. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
had a
did.
great time.
I did tweet out like in my first 8 hours of playing. I was like, I can kind of see how this could be someone's favorite Pokemon. Like,
Yeah.
I can see it because I was like looking at those reviews at first, like really skeptical. Like, the best Pokemon ever? Are you sure about that? Have you like played the other Pokemons?
Yeah.
Like for reference, my favorite one is I forget the name. I forget which one. It's the Game Boy. Which one had Mudkip in it?
Oh, Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald.
Yeah, those were my favorite previous.
Same.
But this like only the wild area in this game is like making this one of my favorite Pokemon games.
Yeah.
So there's that.
It feels good. This game feels nice.
It does. It's Pokemon. And with that, that's kind of been our follow-up chatter about our Pokemon discussion. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know how you're feeling about Pokemon in the comment section down below. Feel free to like if you like the video. Don't dislike the video if you dislike the video, because smack you.
Get out of here.
Leave a comment. Let us know how you're feeling. Subscribe. Welcome to the family. Let YouTube know that we're here. And turn on the notification bell, because why not? You'll get alerted whenever we post a video. But with that, Squad Chat out.
Bye.